Welcome to Write to Publish, your go-to podcast for all things writing and publishing. I'm Karen Stanley, a 14 times published author and the founder of Mabel and Stanley Publishing. Join me as I share a multitude of tips and insights drawn from my own writing and publishing journey. We'll be hearing from some inspirational authors too, who will share their writing experiences and top tips for success. Each week, we'll learn about an aspect of writing, from composition to genre and from publishing to marketing. Listen in as we learn and chat about all things writing and publishing, and let's get you on the right path.
Hello and welcome back to Write to Publish with me, Karen Stanley. And today we're talking about something that I genuinely believe every single author should understand before they sign anything, share anything, or hand their manuscript over to anyone. And we're going to talk about rights and royalties. Now, possibly not the sexiest topic, or the dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And I can hear you saying, yeah, I just want to get on and write my book. And I do hear you, but stay with me, because this is the conversation that could save you thousands of pounds, years of heartache and some sort of mental torture. I've seen authors in genuine distress because they didn't understand what they signed. I've seen people who couldn't republish their own book. I've seen people waiting months and months for royalty payments that were, to put it charitably, not very transparent. And I want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. So when you write a book, you automatically own the copyright. So once the moment those words are on the page or the screen, which is even better because it's logged obviously in your hard drive, etc., they are yours. But when you enter into a publishing arrangement, you may be asked to transfer or license some of those rights to someone else. And this is where it gets complicated, because rights isn't just one thing. So there are territorial rights. That means who can sell your book in which country. Format rights, which is print versus ebook versus audiobook. Translation rights, film and TV rights, merchandising rights. Traditional publishers typically ask for many of these rights, and sometimes all of them. So in exchange, they take on the risk and the cost of publishing, but they also take a very significant percentage of the income that your book generates. As I say to people, you may not pay up front for traditional publishing, but you will pay down the line. They're a business, they're not a charity. So with self-publishing, you retain all of your rights, every single one. So you can publish in multiple formats, multiple territories, you can create an audio book, you can sell the film rights if someone comes knocking on your door, and all of that is entirely your decision. So when I work with my authors at Mabel and Stanley Publishing, my starting point is always, you keep your rights, non-negotiable. As far as I'm concerned, your book is your intellectual property and you should be in control of what happens to it. So let's talk about royalties now. Royalties are the income you earn from the sales of your book. And this is another area where the differences between publishing routes can be quite stark. So with a traditional publisher, royalty rates for new authors are typically somewhere between 8 and 15% of the cover price, and sometimes even less for ebooks. Your agent takes a percentage of that and the publisher takes the rest. So it's not looking great for the author there. With Amazon KDP, self-publishing through Amazon, you receive up to 70% royalty on ebook sales within certain price ranges, 70%. They do subtract the price, the print costs, so you'd get the retail price times 60 to 70%, less the print cost, but it's still pretty good. That's a very different conversation. So, as I've said before, with traditional publishing, you're not paying for the editing, the design, or the marketing. Marketing, I'd argue, because you generally are still doing your own marketing. The publisher takes all of the other stuff on. So it's not a like-for-like comparison, but it is worth understanding what you're trading away. And like I say, you will still pay in the long run. Here's a question I always want to ask authors. What do you want to start earning from your book? Because with traditional publishing, you might wait 2 years to publication and then start earning a royalty that's a fraction of what self-publishing offers. So it isn't always the golden bullet that people might assume. For many authors, especially those writing business books or books that support their work as coaches or consultants, the maths doesn't really add up in favour of traditional publishing. And don't forget your upsells. That's what your business book should be generating traffic towards. So red flags is the practical bit, and this is what you need to look out for. First of all, any publisher taking you to pay to publish your book and take a share of your royalties is likely to be a vanity publisher model, and you should run away. Mabel and Stanley, we do not take royalties. You pay for our services and then the royalties are yours. That's only fair. Secondly, any contract where the rights revert to the publisher rather than to you, your rights should come back to you if the book goes out of print, if the publisher closes, if the relationship doesn't work. If that doesn't happen, be very, very wary. Third, opacity around royalty reporting. You should know exactly how many of your books have sold, when, at what price, through which channels. If a publisher is vague about this, then that's a problem. And actually, when you're doing it through a third party, I found it's really hard to keep track of that. Fourth, any pressure to buy your own books. So a legitimate publisher doesn't require you to purchase a stock of your own book as a condition. The way we work at Mabel and Stanley, through Amazon KDP, print on demand, you buy them when you need them. It's nothing to do with us. And if you ask any questions and the answers are evasive or you don't really get a clear answer, walk away, because good people in this industry will be very happy to share their methods and their successes with you. Not the most glamorous topic, but absolutely essential. So please be wary. If you've got any questions about a contract that you're looking at or publishing arrangement you're considering, please do reach out before you sign anything. Whether we work together or not, I will happily advise. I'm Karen at mabelandstanleypublishing.com. Always happy to have a straight talking conversation with no obligation. If you'd like a beginner's guide to publishing without the nasty surprises, my book, How to Publish a Book Without Getting Ripped Off, is available on Amazon. I think it's $9.99. You can get a PDF download at mabelandstanley.com, How to Publish a Book, for $1.99. And it's also got some bonus checklists and things in it. So download that. It will pretty much tell you everything you need to know about publishing and more. Like, follow and share as always. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in a fortnight. Bye for now.